David Beckham, he's the man that could do little wrong in my eyes. I have envied him, but also wanted to be him for so long. Quality footballer, good-looking lad, great life, everything that kind of fell into place apart from his voice, but God did have to give him something wrong. But apparently his voice can be a little bit nasty, should I say, when coming across through email. Now, I'm probably going to defend him, and I take it as that he's just like everyone else. He doesn't like certain things, and he vocalizes it in a different way. We will often say it behind someone's back, or we will say it in the privacy of our own texts or emails. But David Beckham said it in the privacy of his own emails, and they were hacked. Now, Jason, they were leaked by the websites. Prepare.
Becky Leaks.
I'm gonna Becky Leaks. It's called. I'm gonna do the accent as to the papers that I think they were released to. So Germany's Der Spiegel, France's Le Chip, and Spain's El Mundo.
Well, El Mundo was not anything different than your own voice. Can we get one Der Spiegel one more time?
Der Spiegel!
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the emails that were released, right? And we'll talk a little bit about it. And then we're going to go to the better emails that Joe IE actually ran, the fake ones. So Beckham, who allegedly rallied against a committee who decides who get the honours, calling them a bunch of see you next Tuesdays, and saying he expected nothing less. Now, this is about, in context to the knighthood, that he basically is out there. Claiming that he deserves and wants it and is not happy with the way things have been going. So it's a disgrace. Oh, let me say it. Go back. I need to say it in Beckham voice.
Yeah, go back to Beckham voice.
It's a disgrace, to be honest. And if I was American, I would have got something like this 10 years ago.
Beckham allegedly said. So what does he mean by if he was American? Like we give him like the ESPY award, for like the Arthur Ashe award for courage or something?
Yeah, so what is your, like, you know... I know you have your awards such as like in the military, and then you have your awards as your...
Well, there's like the presidential
so like Joe Biden got.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is
which
the
Beckham would have got.
highest civilian honor that you can get. Yeah. And then there's a couple, Purple Heart is wounded in battle and courage in battle, overseas fighting, whatever it might be. Nobel Peace Prizes across the world. It's not just American. Yeah. So what does he want? Why are you seeking the recognition? I actually will defend Beckham with you. I think this is a wild story. First of all, in America, if you drop the see you next Tuesday word, like we look at it as like this disgraceful, how can you ever say that? But in England, they say it, not just in England, a lot of places, it's as much as we use the word ass.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's no different, at least in that context. I would defend Beckham too, because for one, I understand that what he's saying makes him sound like some type of person, but there's one thing that text, any form of text, there's no context, emphasis.
Yeah.
There's a lot of context, actually, but the emphasis is weird, and you can't express anything the right way. So I don't think it's like he's being sarcastic in these, and of course he comes off as a little bit catty.
Yeah.
But we're talking about what he probably thought were just emails to close people, close friends, maybe agents or management companies that he's next to. And when people say, oh, you shouldn't send messages like that ever, I don't know what type of person you're trying to uphold in society today, but there is no perfect individual. And when you get caught with a Becky Leaks emails, there's like 18 million emails, not just from Beckham, but the entire, I think, Beckham family. I think that server that was released and that got hacked into. So I'm not defending Beckham in the way that it's okay to call the what is it called, the Knighthood Committee a bunch of see you next Tuesdays. But if you feel like you deserve one and you're getting frustrated that you're not getting one, I'm sure at one point he turned to one of his close friends and said, hey, fuck the knighthood, man. That's BS that I can't get knighted for it.
Yeah, and so he's got an OBE, right, which is an honour that he has already. And
it's an OBE.
It's basically just, it's an honour for your
old British egregious awards. No.
Well, clearly that's it.
The old.
So he got an award for his being an ambassador to football, and there's other emails that are a little bit, they paint him in a little bit more of a negative light. Like, so he's emailed back and forth between talking about UNICEF and that he was pissed off basically because Chloe from UNICEF, he's quoted saying, asked me outright, which I was pissed off about. I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it with my own money. Now again, this can be taken out of context because he's worth about $280 million, but he has consistently been an ambassador of UNICEF. He set up organizations, I think Beckham 7, that helps underprivileged kids and teaches football around and tries to put forward a good message. And UNICEF itself released a statement that says Beckham has been a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador since 2005 and has generously given his time. Now, so in my point of view, it's like when someone comes out directly and just says, hey, can you give money to us? I think
just
that
because you
have the money, exactly. I don't think you're obliged to do it, whereas he has given a lot in the past, so he's probably just pissed off at the way they asked him.
What you're alluding to is like the most extreme ends of the spectrum. So because he's pissed off at a UNICEF spokesperson because maybe she rudely or maybe she very kindly, right, asked him for money because Beckham's worth like $40 bajillion. Right, people will take that and go, look, Beckham wouldn't even give to UNICEF, so let's just discredit all the other foundations he's probably done and worked for and which he has done and worked for and all the money he's given in the past because he told UNICEF to F off, which means he hates the kids, the underprivileged kids, and they take it completely down the wrong road. Like, there's a right and wrong way to approach people who have a whole ton of money on whether or not that they should, on how that you're supposed to ask for it. And maybe Beckham was being extremely rude. And maybe all she said was like, David, all we were really asking for is to you $100,000 is 20 to the guy down the street comparatively. And maybe he said back to them, F off. But that doesn't make Beckham this devilish, evil, crappy person because a couple of emails that got leaked show a different side. What it does show is that he's human. It also shows that he's just not this perfect character of a man that maybe everybody was looking up to exactly as is. When
you are a person like David Beckham, you're constantly in the spotlight, right? He is painted across as this ideal character, right? He has a great wife, family man, and he's a great football player and did a lot for football across seas. Like, I mean, especially in America, he did a lot for the MLS and when he came across. But I just don't get that you can scrutinize someone when they send something in the privacy of their own emails or texts or anything like, if he's being racist or sexist or xenophobic or anything like that, then you could be like, well, maybe his character needs to be called into question, but he just seems a little frustrated at things that were going on. And I don't think that it's right to expect him to constantly uphold his exterior when he's sending something in the comfort of his own emails. This is where I think there's a problem with what people do in their own time, right? David Beckham, his life has been under a microscope for several years. And he's always given off a great image, apart from the whole scandal that went around about him and, I don't know, babysitter or mistress or whatever. I don't know. It never really was proven. This lady claimed that she had an affair with Beckham. But to be fair, for someone that's been in the spotlight for that long, he's not really put a foot wrong. He's been a great role model for football players, for kids trying to grow up and be like that, especially when you put him next to some other people and sports persons who don't exactly uphold. I mean, Wayne Rooney, for example, how many scandals has that guy got into? But again, he's probably just pissed off in a certain moment, like you said, where someone else has been knighted. He's like, I want to be knighted. Like, it's bullshit. I don't agree with him, like, ripping into, like, Catherine Jenkins and saying, like, it's ridiculous or anything else.
Francis, here's a good example of this in everyday conversation, because everyone's had it. Because I love the people who will criticize us and be like, you're supposed to be held to a higher standard when you're David Beckham. So when you write your emails, there's a degree of professionalism that goes with it. You can't be cursing, and you can't be doing this, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. Here's an everyday conversation that happens. I come in, you come in on Mondays, and sometimes we see TV shows on Sunday, or there's an award given out at the Oscars or the Golden Globes, and it's fucking bullshit, that movie sucked. Yeah. But if you were to write that in an email and send it over to somebody, and we were the status of David Beckham, there'd be a huge scandal about it because, oh wait, David Beckham thinks that the movie Lion, side note, like that movie a lot, fucking sucked, it was garbage, it was BS. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't donate $1,000 to UNICEF because I make $280 million a year.
It's very true. It's very true. But
it's different when it's in word form, in print form, because then people take it. Again, I don't want to make it seem like David Beckham's he's allowed to make mistakes. Obviously, everyone is, but I don't want to make it seem like this is out of the ordinary.
It shouldn't tarnish his reputation. You know.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it shouldn't because he's done so much, but. Funny thing is, Joe IE, funny website, they ran a bunch of these emails, which of course are fabricated, but it doesn't make them any less funny.
I got them from Becky Leaks, too. Yeah. I got them from WikiLeaks.
Let's take a look. The first one that comes up in the fake emails. So this is to support@instagram.com. This is David Beckham sending a fake email to Instagram. Hello, my Instagram account appears to have been compromised. as some users seems to confused as confused as my identity. Anytime I post a photo of myself, I get a lot of comments saying daddy, or most worrying, choke me daddy. I am not these girls' father, to the best of my knowledge, so there must be a glitch in my account. Please look into this at your nearest convenience. David Beckham, dad of what?
Dad of 4. Subject line, help. There's a lot of these. Quick question, this is the subject to Tom Cruise. Hi Tom, how are things, pal? Just a quick one. I was watching one of your films at the weekend. It was really good, but the name was very misleading, Tom. I think the next one should be called Mission Possible. What do you think? Let me know. Dave.
Moving on, this one's one of my favorites.
Reply, your wife.
Yeah, to Spice Girl Lover, Ari, your wife. I'm writing to you in relation to your email that I recently received. While I don't necessarily disagree with your point of view that Victoria was vocally the weakest Spice Girl, I feel there were other qualities she brought to the band, such as style and class, that far overshadow the singing capabilities of the other girls. Kind regards, David Beckham, OBE.
OBE. There's one more. New ink. Hi, tattoo people. Looking to get an appointment for a new tattoo. Nothing too hectic, just a line on top of a unicorn riding into battle with a Capri Sun that's pierced with a javelin rather than a straw. Means a lot to me. Early next week would suit best. David. Tattoos@gmail.com is a great email account.
Great, straight to the point.
Who has, think about it, who has like Francis@gmail.com?
Someone does. We've already had this conversation when it comes to handles. People just get in there early, realize that it's going to piss me off, and they'll take Francis@gmail.com. I think someone has that, because I tried to sign up for a Gmail.
Are there a lot of famous Francises? Do you know of famous Francises?
There is Pope Francis.
He's pretty famous.
He's up there. He's ahead of me in the Francises of the world. The funny thing is I was in a class recently, and I gave my name to the teacher. It was like an improv acting class, and she said, Francis Maxwell, that's already set out to be a Hollywood name. And she's like, I can't think of any famous Francises. And I was like, and it had me thinking, like, of course there's people out there that you will be like, oh, his name is Francis. But when you think straight off the bat, like if you said my name was Jason, like immediately you pop in Jason Sudeikis, Jason Statham. So it's just like,
I'm sure there's a lot though. Jason Alexander, from Seinfeld.
So I guess I'm regretting questioning my name in the early years of my life when my nickname was Franny and I was called Franny the Fanny.
It's called Boobin.
Still hurt.
My last name.
Still hurt. Rubin sandwich?
Boobin.
Boobin.
Yeah. Creative.
Always the easiest nicknames. All right, hit us in the comments. What do you think of Becky Leaks?
It's such a good name.
Of course. Does it bring your maybe golden balls? Maybe there's something in there about golden balls. Oh, there was a comment I seen that said instead of bend it like Beckham, bent out of shape like Beckham.
Man.
Wasn't that good actually? It was better when I read it.